Yesterday on the Rock-A-Lot channel, I promised you that the great Boomy lawsuit war of 2020 would kick off this week, and it's already coming true, as now fraudulent GoFundMe campaigns will be proven to you. Literal hard proof that GoFundMe campaigns taking over $1,000 already from the community were done surrounded by lies. And the real reason that those GoFundMes are there will be shown to you tonight on UNIRock 2 in the great Boomy war of 2020. Get this pumping. So, for those of you that don't know what's going on, today everybody was a little shocked, not really, because I told you last night that damn it, Busy. I know you like that song, but I'm gonna start now. Busy. Stop messing with things. Not that one, the other one. Thank you. Everybody would have been shocked if I wouldn't have told you that this was coming. Due to my spies inside of the Boomer Network, we lost several this weekend. God rest their souls. My spies inside the Boomer Network told me that big things were coming Monday. So last night, I told you ahead of time just to prove that I do have spies still in the Boomer Network. Some of his best friends love talking to me. Long phone calls at night. Anyway, here's what happened. Steve and the Steve and Kyle, why you still got boomies fighting here? Bro, Busy, I know it's funny. You're ruining my show. You're ruining my show already, Busy. Thank you. Can we try that again, please? Do you mind? Steve thought that it would be a good idea to create this GoFundMe campaign. Actually, let me refresh it. I haven't refreshed it in a while. How is he claiming a loss of income if the YouTube money goes to Canada in Chesh's name? Gee willikers, Batman. Good point. I don't know, but I'll tell you this. He lied in this GoFundMe, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. I've been showing you that him and his friends, especially Red's Rhetoric and others, like to put on fraudulent GoFundMe and fundraisers, and I criticized them for it when I learned about it. Of course, he tried to say, UNIRock's losing all of his credibility because he criticized us, just like Steve did, trying to say that I lost all of my military honor by criticizing him. But let me give you this update, because he's continuing to take money from our community. And I think that finally, if you are a YouTuber that cares about the community you're in, and you know for a fact that you were around NonSec, you have people from NonSec that watch your show now, people that used to watch NonSec watching you now, which is just about everybody in the flat earth debunking, making fun of community, you've got somebody ripping your community off. I ask you to hear me out and then make up your mind so that you can know the truth of what's going on, because I'm going to prove it to you with hard evidence that he completely he messed up so bad in this that I almost felt sorry for him. Here's what he did. Kyle Curtis filed strikes on Steve's YouTube channel. Were they false strikes or not? Well, you make up your mind. Kyle had music, that was copywritten in his name and art that was copywritten in his name that he never gave Steve permission to use on his channel. Now, Kyle was being nice and not trying to strike Steve. He communicated with Steve and let him know that there were 3, I believe, videos on Steve's channel, and I will get to all of those in just a little bit. Let me get through this, though, because this is a lot of information. Kyle communicated to Steve that he wanted his art and music that was not licensed, that he was just being nice letting him use without any license or agreement or deal, which Steve has admitted at his own mouth. So Kyle struck down those videos after Steve refused over and over again to take the videos down. So here's how it works. When you use somebody else's music or art on your channel, and not in a fair use way, but in a actual use of those things way, they do have an option to strike you down if you don't have some legal license with them. It's common practice. It's not a false strike in any way, shape, or form. So when he puts false DMCAs, he knowingly is lying. Look, we're going to get to the big part, the part that actually fully exposes him for lying about this. But these aren't false DMCAs. He should be up to a standard of proving how they are false DMCAs, because that's what the court case would be about. But the court case hasn't even gotten to a point where he can do a GoFundMe yet. Now, I've got YouTube's literal thingy here. Give me 1 second. I've got YouTube's literal thing here that describes what happens when you file a copyright strike, what you do when you respond to a copyright strike, how all of this works. Now, luckily, I've been through this. Many creators have been through this, so you're going to know whether or not he is lying in his GoFundMe campaign or not, just by hearing what I'm going to tell you. But for those of you that don't know, I've actually pulled the YouTube article, and I apologize. My monitors are set for video games right now, and I don't feel like changing them. So you're going to have to deal with the blinding light blinding my face right now. Though, here's what we got. Kyle would strike Steve. Well, he didn't even just strike him. Kyle communicated to Steve to remove his art and music. Now, anybody would understand why. Steve has lied about Kyle. He has slandered him. He has put him down. He stalked him and harassed him. He pretty much did the same exact thing to Kyle that he did to Katie Joy, but he did it worse to Kyle. So if Katie can get a restraining order elevated to the federal level, it would be very easy for Kyle to, because Kyle's got more evidence than Katie did. But he didn't want to do it that way. All he cared about, because, of course, why? Because Katie's the new target, not Kyle, so there's no reason for Kyle to care. But he wanted those videos, he wanted his art taken down. Now, Steve had several ways of doing this, and this is why Steve is lying and defrauding the community. Steve could have went into his YouTube video editor and clicked on those videos and or live streams and simply blurred out or removed or taken out the parts where Kyle's art and song was present. It would have left the videos up in a watchable format, right? It would have left them up so that Steve could still have them there. People could still watch them. Literally, he has not even, Steve didn't even consider how much he's ripping the community off at this point. But I'm going to help him out and explain it to you. Because, number one, Steve didn't have to take the videos down. He could have just used the YouTube video editor, which YouTube just updated their video editor. It works great. It's better than it's ever been. And yes, he can automatically take songs out. He can automatically replace songs. And I just ate, sorry. Let me take a drink. And he can cut parts of videos out. He had many options on how he could remove Kyle's art and Kyle's music from the videos that Kyle let him know that he wanted it taken down for. Now, there's literally no reason for Kyle to be nice to Steve when Steve has done everything he has to Kyle. Whether you like or hate Kyle, he's not obligated to let those videos stay up on Steve's channel. He is not. Unless Steve wants to provide some kind of license that he has, he's not. It's why YouTube gave him the response he did. Now, Steve went to the community and asked for $5,000. And you won't believe what he says in this. It is obviously a con on the community. I'll get to that in just a second. But even worse, he's not even He is not even being honest about what he wants to use this money for. And instead of making you wait for me to go through all of it, I'm going to show you right now. Give me some different music. Thank you. So for any YouTuber that wants to defend him, you're literally spitting in the face of the YouTube system that we use, and you are 100% okay with people lying about strikes, lying about what's going on with strikes, and then asking for money from the strikes when you caused them. So we know now that Kyle asked Steve to take them down. Steve refused. Kyle gave him a lot of time to change his mind, let him know that he'd be striking. Steve spit in Kyle's face. Kyle filed the strikes. Now, here's how it works. Kyle goes and files strikes and proves to YouTube that he does have a copyright for those things that Steve was using. So then YouTube puts the strikes through. Steve then has an option to accept the strikes, to appeal the strikes, or a third option. He can communicate with the person that filed the strikes and politely ask them to rescind the strikes if he does a certain thing. Steve did not try to communicate with Kyle to get the strikes removed. Steve did not take the other option. He immediately filed the appeal on the strikes. Now, what happens when you do that is YouTube sends it back to Kyle Curtis. It's all right here under submit a copyright counter notification. It sends it back to Kyle Curtis. You know this. I know this because we've all been struck before with copy strikes or false copy strikes. The sheer fact that Kyle has a copyright for the stuff in Steve's videos and Steve does not have a license proves that Steve lied when he put the fact that these are false DMCAs. But even worse. Now, Kyle, after Steve appeals them, has the option of going to court. So Kyle must get a lawyer, get papers drawn up, and then file them not only to the court, but to YouTube in order for the strikes to go through. I reached out to Kyle Curtis today after seeing that he put up this GoFundMe drive thinking, this is weird. Kyle told me he hadn't done any action on the strikes whatsoever once Steve did what he did with them. That would mean that Steve is filing a fraudulent GoFundMe. So I got a hold of Kyle Curtis. I asked Kyle, today, did you all of a sudden just like put through the paperwork on those strikes? Because Steve can't run this GoFundMe campaign while you haven't done any action. Why can't Steve run this GoFundMe campaign without conning the community, without lying to the community? Because if Kyle Curtis does not come up with the money to pay the lawyers to file it through, then there is no lawsuit. It is literally bullshit that he needs legal costs and false DMCA's money for this stuff. But what's even worse is that he's not being honest about why he's taking this money, because something else happened today. Another thing got scheduled out there in the world of the internet that he would need money for, that he does need money for if he wants it to happen. And that's the real reason, in my opinion, why he set up this GoFundMe. He scheduled with an attorney to defend himself with the Katie Joy restraining order. So he's going to go try to defend himself to the judge on the restraining order. Now, I think just as much as you do, if you've read anything that Steve put out around this, it's pretty obvious that he doesn't have the funding from RUHIF and he's needing to raise the funds to fight the RO. Because if he did have the funding from RUHIF, he wouldn't need to run the GoFundMe campaign. And that tells us that his magical rich millionaire fund guy who's been paying his legal bills with the non-sec lawsuit, for some reason, isn't willing to cover the other stuff. He's not even willing to cover this for Steve, and Steve's running a GoFundMe now. But Steve has admitted to us that RUHIF promised to pay every dime Steve needed to fight for the non-sequitur channel. RUHIF even promised that if Mcrae got his lawsuit tossed out because we know that he didn't properly serve Curtis, RUHIF said that he would pay to redo the lawsuit and get it brought back up. And if that's the case, then why does Steve need to run this GoFundMe, right? Later on, he's going to say his roommate stole the GoFundMe money. Angry Roach. Very true. He probably will. My point is, Months ago, I criticized Steve with a video titled #GoFund Steve Reds. This is why. This is what they do. It's how they've been conning the community that I made videos in with all these other creators for a good long chunk of time. And I know people hate me out there. The people that simp for Steve hate UNIRock for criticizing this shit. You should be criticizing this too if you really cared about your community, because this is not the first time that he's done this. It's definitely not the first time that Reds or any of those other guys out there have done this. This is what they continually do. They do bullshit GoFundMes, bullshit fundraisers that can include GoFundMes or just another way of soaping money out of the community. And they do it with false pretenses constantly. That was what I was trying with Conspiracy Cats and with Modern Day Debate to get Steve or Reds to debate me on, because both of them were very vocal that they didn't con the community during Christmas with Steve's fundraiser that was predicated on a lie, predicated on the fact that Katie struck Leslie when she did not do it. It was her streaming MTV videos like I proved on the channel. Going back further, I could list a Bojangles amount of GoFundMes that these guys, fundraisers and GoFundMes that they've run, that were not honest with the community, what they were doing with the money, why they were taking the money, and they would change what they did with the money and just say, who cares? We've got a good community. We do good things together. This is literally, I got information a few weeks ago also that these guys had been getting together talking about how they needed to do another GoFundMe, but now we can't because Uni criticized us. I think Steve broke down when he got those strikes on his channel, and he's flipping out, booming out, if you will, over the fact that he might be losing his channel. In fact, he put out that with the amount of strikes he has, he will lose his channel in X amount of days because of the copy strikes. Now, here's the issue, guys. I haven't even gotten to this point where if it's your fault that you have those copy strikes because you literally spit in Kyle's face when a man that you'd harassed for over a year, that you've lied to everybody about, Kyle Curtis, and regardless of how you skeptics out there feel about the non sequitur situation, it doesn't excuse the way he or Reds or the rest of them acts anyway on the internet, lying to everybody, fashioning hate campaigns, fashioning fraudulent GoFundMes. All of this bullshit combines together into the legitimately criticizable. Either way, though, I haven't even got to the worst parts of this whole thing, because not only does he run a GoFundMe, he lies about the reason he's doing it, he bullshits about the DMCAs. How do we know that? Because if Kyle offered him an opportunity to either take down the videos or clip out those segments that contained his copywritten, and I've shown the copyright on this channel before, the Kyle Curtis copyright for the music and the art I literally showed here. They don't even deny that Kyle has the copyright. How is it that they chose? No, he chose. He chose to ignore Kyle Curtis being nice to the guy who harassed him for a year and to not take down the video or at least trim out the artwork that he was not given permission to use, and then stop himself from getting a strike because he purposely challenged Kyle to strike him. And look what he does. Instead of taking the strike and saying, well, I asked for this, I could have taken very easy steps to prevent this, I asked for this, literally he asked for this, spitting in Kyle's face about taking his art and music out of 3 videos, something that would have taken him 10 minutes. Now he wants to collect $1,200 freaking dollars, no, $5,000 from the community due to his own choices. You see, provably, what he did was he found out that he had to take those videos down. He knew by law he had to. So how is it false, DMCA? It's not, you liar. But then he chose to tell Kyle to F off and to go ahead and strike him just to cry like a victim about how, oh, pity me, I need $5,000. Now, the worst thing is, down in this fundraiser, he whines and cries about how these strikes have prevented him from making an income on YouTube. That's why he needs you to whip out your pockets, whip out your pocketbooks, whip out your wallets, and donate to him, because the evil Kyle Curtis that was nice enough to warn him, nice enough to give him a chunk of time, nice enough to allow him to remove the content, didn't just go in and strike him, only did it once challenged by Steve. Now Steve has to whine like a victim that he needs your money. He wanted this to happen. He wanted to take a break with the RO happening. He has not been making any money ever since he got exposed in the last couple months. If you've seen any of his streams, he's got Quisa and one other person to make donos to him. He sits and whines and cries about how UNIRock makes money on his streams, and every other content creator does, because he's not making jack shit with his not barely streaming to pull in any ad revenue, but even worse, not getting any super chats due to his very low numbers when he does stream, the RO preventing him from talking about Katie and these types of subjects, him not wanting to do the work of actually writing content or doing anything else. It's left him deciding that getting these strikes is the best option, and that is exactly why he spit in Kyle's face and challenged Kyle to strike him. He denied to take the videos down and now thinks he's got some type of victim card that he can pull to say, you need to support me now with a GoFundMe for $5,000 on this. The worst part is Kyle hasn't responded to the YouTube strikes yet. Again, what that means, I need to stress this again. It's very important to this story. It means that he doesn't have any strike. The strikes most likely will go away in the next week, but he's still going to keep this money. Like I said, Kyle strikes him. He gets the videos to go down and files the appeal. Kyle must go get a lawyer and file paperwork. And because it didn't happen, he's jumped the gun on filing this. So you'll say, well, why did he file it then? If this whole process has not even hit the stage where it makes sense for him to do this yet, because the strikes haven't even gotten stuck to the account, the strikes haven't even stuck yet, then why is he running this thing yet, acting like he's got a lawsuit and false DMCA shit and this and that, so that you'll whip out your wallet and pay him? It's the same thing I criticized his friends for. And obviously, they used to run GoFundMes and fundraisers every 3 to 4 weeks between their little friend group. And I've played clips where they admit that the money from those GoFundMes and fundraisers go into a single person's bank account. We have those clips. I've proven it to you at this point. So then what do they do after they collect the money into one single person's bank account? Well, personally, I think they share the money, and then they all try to get as many of their followers to feel victim-y as possible to go donate. Then they share the money, or else why would it just be going to someone else's bank account like this, right? Instead of directly to a lawyer or somewhere else. I mean, for God's sakes, he's organizing this for himself now, and that money's going to go right into his own pocket. It's pretty bad. But let's take a look at what this thing says, and let's take a look at what he claims is going on here. Let's compare this to a archived copy of the GoFundMe from 5 hours ago when it came out to make sure he didn't change any of it. And let's see what this all says, because honestly, it's too late, Steve. You jumped the gun in filing this. You didn't wait for Kyle to get a lawyer and file those strikes and for YouTube to respond to you to let you know there would be a court date. And because you jumped the gun calling these things false strikes when you know they're not false strikes. By law, they're not false strikes. It's not your opinion whether they're false strikes. Does Kyle own the copyright to things you used in those videos that you refuse to remove, that you have no license for? That is true. Therefore, the court should hear it out to decide whether you owe him for using those things. And he tried to be as nice as he could, Steve. And I know you think that it's always one way. It's always us versus them, right? Nobody could ever be professional and tell you to remove that content so that you wouldn't go through this. But then to have you actively choose, you actively chose this path. You chose to tell Kyle to file the strikes and then purposely went and created a GoFundMe drive for $5,000. Thank you for vindicating my content about your scummy GoFundMe and fundraising practices. Thank you, because you were trying to say you didn't have anything to do with Red's fundraisers or those other fundraisers where they did provably lie in them. That was your out in this whole thing. Well, thank you, sir, for finally vindicating the fact of what I said about these fundraisers, that you all do this constantly. And if it wasn't for me calling it out, you would have had one every 3 to 4 weeks with your buddies up to now. But let's see what this thing says, and let's update you with, oh, no. Oh, no. Before I go there, I forgot about the worst part. You see, This makes no sense. This GoFundMe, it doesn't make sense because Kyle could just as easily say, you know what? I'm not going to go pay an attorney to draw up the papers. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let these strikes expire. You know, I should go spend $1,000, $2,000 to get an attorney to draw up the copyright papers, but I don't feel like dealing with it. I'm just going to let it go because that's what happens to 99.9% of strikes at this stage on YouTube. There have not been that many actual lawsuits from copyright strikes on YouTube. We all know that, though there have been immense amounts of actual copy strikes filed on YouTube. Why is that? Because after you file the appeal, those companies don't want to pay to take you to court. And so they just decide to let it go. What happens then? After a set amount of days, either 7 to 14 days, the strikes expire and act like they don't happen until the person with the copyright finally decides to take you to court. Then they refile the strikes and take your ass to court and get you to pay them for the copyright infringement, and they get your content taken down permanently, and they get to undo the amount of gain you made off of using their stuff outside of a fair use article. Though the real issue is that there was something logical that he does need money for that happened today. So it would make sense. We already know he's lying about this GoFundMe, which means he did it for another reason. Now, he does state in the GoFundMe that he's doing it for, I believe he said, my channel being down, I can't make content, help me, help me. That doesn't apply when you chose for your channel to go down. You actively chose that. You do not get to use that damn excuse, my guy. But there was something else that actually makes sense. And that is, he filed a date to fight the restraining order. Just recently, he got a date filed by his attorney to try to go get his ass out of the restraining order that was filed. So he's going to go try to do that soon. But he's got to pay his attorney before his attorney will represent him to do it. And that is exactly what this GoFundMe is for, in my opinion. He didn't do it for false DMCA strikes. We can prove to you they're not false DMCA strikes. He's doing it to help recover legal costs. Well, you didn't pay a dime for your legal costs, my guy. Ruhif admittedly did. You've already admitted that Ruhif did. You didn't pay a dime for your legal costs, my dude. This literally is him lying to the community to try and do his Katie Joy fundraiser. Do you remember when he announced on his channel that he was going to do a fundraiser to cover legal costs for suing Katie Joy? That's what this is. But with the restraining order put into effect, he can't put Katie's name up there. Actually, though, what's really messed up is he did indirectly mention Katie in this GoFundMe. He violated his RO by putting Katie in this damn thing. And I'll prove it to you in just a minute. But my point is, he's doing this for one reason. One and one reason only. And it's obvious. He's doing this because he wants to fight that restraining order, and he doesn't have the money to pay his lawyer to do it. Now, let's actually take a look at this, tell you what else is going on, break this down a little better before heading over to the Rock-A-Lot channel for the after show. Thanks for being here. 6/15/2020. I'm your host, UNIRock. I don't have an assistant. I fired you. You've been fired. No way. You smell bad. You stink. No. Get out of here, ding dong. This is UNIRock Live. So, In the scummiest move ever seen as a development of this story in the Great Boomy War of 2020, I announced the Great Boomy War yesterday, Sunday, No Rules Sunday, on the after show Rock-A-Lot channel, the only parking lot that's actually comfortable to sit in. We talked about how this week there would be major developments in this story, and that I knew this because I had boffin spies implanted in the boomer networks, giving me all of the weird boomer information as it develops. I have new boomer information for you. I don't know if your ears are ready to hear it, so maybe get the kids out of the room, shoo them away, because I don't want anyone hearing this stuff without being prepared. Now, I'm too funny. In a development to the story, for those of you that are just catching up, if I didn't explain it well enough, basically, today, Steve had gotten a lot of, let's just show you. Steve had gotten a lot of strikes on his channel. And this was like last week. Now, he obviously, was finally notified by YouTube this weekend that he was going to lose his channel due to the amount of, oh, look, he must have gotten another one today, or he removed something today. He's got like 4 or 5 strikes at this point, because this day is obviously multiple strikes. This, and this. One of them was a removed video. I would go as far as to say, from what he has shown, he has created the illusion that there is at least 3 or 4 strikes on his channel. And those YouTubers out there know that once you get 3 or 4 of them, your channel is bye-bye. Sayonara. See ya tomorrow. You get me? So, of course, he went on a insane rampage. That's why I was playing those compilations of boomers acting crazy. Pick any of those, and you'll imagine what happened. Though, now, the cool thing is, though, he's been, ever since he realized he's going to have to pay for court, he stopped buying subscribers for the last few days at least. So that's always a plus, right? It's always a plus. You know, he stopped gaming the YouTube system for a few days. That's always good for the YouTube economy, right? How do you get more subs when your channel goes down? You buy them, just like he did. Yeah. Okay. But wait, before we get funny, we get funky in the after show. Not here on the serious YouTube content channel, UNIRocktv. Anyway, so Steve's famous last words, Uni, can you look into screenshots? Ha ha ha. Katie claims she's going to get a restraining order waiting for the FBI. Kyle won't strike me. August, all of those 3 quotes you just gave are so prophetic and funny. Okay, let me see if I missed any super chats. We got some members. Thank you guys for joining. He's claiming a loss of income if the YouTube money goes to Chesh. Exactly. This just gets crazier and crazier, says Nate Brody. Hey, Nate, good to see you. And it does. Nana, thanks for the sticker. Leroy, Bunny, go funk. Steve, get the funk. The boomer funk. Angry Roach later, he's going to say his roommate stole the GoFundMe money. So good. Leroy, thanks for the sticker, and I got the rest. Mary, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Okay, now, to break this down, let me get serious for a minute. Let me actually respond as a YouTuber, thinking about the YouTube community and YouTube as a whole. This is egregious. This is criticizable. This is egregious, and this is just, it's flipping off everybody on YouTube at this point. He chose this. He said, oh, Kyle wants me to remove his copywritten, trademarked, filed with the copyright law, court thingy-majigger, whatever it is. He wants me to remove this music and art that he owns that I never got a license for. Well, I'll get a strike if I don't remove it. And it's almost like he thought to himself, maybe I can play a little victimhood off of those strikes and boink, do that. And it's exactly what he did. But something else happened yesterday that's a little funny. And that is, last night I announced that Kyle Curtis most likely is going to need a GoFundMe. I just meant a fundraiser. See, when I say GoFundMe, of course I'm meaning fundraiser, but he would probably need help with his lawyer fees. So Kyle will be announcing a GoFundMe very soon. As soon as that link comes out, I'll be sharing it for him, and I'll be sharing it here and on the Rock-A-Lot, Twitter, and all the Universe networks. So anyway, make sure you're looking out for that later, because Kyle needs to sue the living shit out of this guy. It's at that point now that it's just like he's just going to keep spitting on any YouTuber that he bumps into. He bumps into a YouTuber, even when his greatest enemy, Kyle Curtis, contacts him to let him know that he's going to get strikes if he doesn't take 3 minutes, click into the YouTube editor, or private a couple old videos that aren't getting any views anyway. The dude gets 300 to 500 views per day. Provably. I will go and show you right now. 300 to 500 views per damn day when he's not creating. He hasn't been creating a lot lately. So let me show you this. 400 right here when he didn't get a strike. 420 right here. 653, 516. He barely pulls views. Now, he does pull a boatload of subscribers when he does. When he doesn't get it, like right here, 900 views, 200 subs, 600 let's go up a little bit when he was buying a lot of them. 590 views plus 300 subs. Very interesting numbers. My point is that Steve has been losing his grip with reality completely. That's why he's okay to go around saying every YouTuber that criticizes him even slightly is a complete and utter liar. He's willing to call somebody's opinion a lie, for God's sakes. And he's gotten to a point since this spiral downward that I've been detailing for you since I started documenting the Katie Joy cyber stalking campaign, which my documentary will be releasing directly after the last phase of this restraining order is finished. I'll be releasing the documentary. That is, when he goes to try to fight the restraining order, as long as he meets his $5,000 quota, he's going to go try to fight the restraining order. And when he gets the result of that, I'll be releasing my documentary on the cyber stalking campaign of Katie Joy Paulson. It'll be released here on UNIRock 2. It'll be of the same quality as the last video that I uploaded here, just so you know. Now, keep an eye out for that. Make sure you like it and share it and everything, because I put a lot of time into that video. It'll be over an hour long, if not 2, just so you know. It'll prove every phase, every bit of evidence that has to do with the cyber stalking campaign of Katie Joy Paulson. Now, because it needs to be put into internet history what happened with the evidence there to tell the story. So, why is this so egregious? Because it's just like when he told Kyle to hold the non sequitur money. Kyle says, I'm going to pay you for the videos you appeared in. He says, I don't want the cash. It might mess with my Medi-Cal. I have him recorded saying it several times. Not once or twice. Many more times. And knowing that he told Kyle to hold the money, when Kyle pisses him off, he then goes around telling everybody, you need to join my Patreon, subscribe to my channel, and watch my videos because Kyle didn't pay me. And now I've been victimized by the evil Kyle. Again, he did other scummy things today by doxing Kyle's entire past on Facebook, when it didn't have anything to do with any of this that's going on. Why is he now trying to dox out Kyle's prison past or every tiny thing Kyle's ever did in his life? That's wrong. He's doing that because he can't do it to Katie. He literally couldn't wait. He couldn't stay. He can't stop from attacking someone. And when a judge told him, you can't attack Katie due to this restraining order, he literally only took an hour to jump back to doing it to Kyle. Taking things that do not relate to this story in any way, fabricating the information of the story, only claiming one side, just like a flat earther does when bringing up any point, and then crying victim to run a GoFundMe campaign. That money is coming from the community, because a lot of people in the community don't log into YouTube every day. They don't follow all the different channels. And some of them just watch like non-sec people and the other stuff they're sub to. So they're going to watch people like Team or Fight or Steve or whatever, and they're going to believe the garbage that comes out of their mouth about this crap. And you can bet that those guys are all defending this GoFundMe campaign, not caring that it's provably not a false DMCA strike. If Kyle has the copyright and you don't have the license, how is it false, my guy? He's even got other YouTubers like Undoomed fooled into believing this bullshit for no good reason whatsoever. They don't need evidence. People like Undoomed and the rest of them, they don't need evidence. They make fun of people who don't follow any evidence and make up shit. But, oh, God, in this situation, when it defends their buddy, oh, they don't need any evidence. Oh, hell no. So let's take a look at this stupid thing and let's read it. Get your barf bags ready. Take your popcorn bag, dump your popcorn into a bowl, and get ready, because this shit sucks. Now, I'm going to be comparing what it says here to what was written earlier. Before I go to each paragraph, let's just make sure it's all the same. Okay, hasn't changed this first paragraph. Got it. Hasn't changed the second paragraph, it seems. Oh, wait, what's this? All right, so basically, blah, blah, blah. Just in case there are a few people who haven't been following the non-sex show drama over the last year or so, let me do a quick TLDR. My name is Steve Mcrae. My name is Steve Mcrae. I can't pronounce this. His name is so hard to pronounce anymore. His name, okay, your name is Steve Mcrae. Oh, that's busy. Is it Mcrae? It is? Thank you. My name is Steve Mcrae, and in late 2017, I started a podcast and YouTube channel called Non Sequitur with a 50-50 partner, Kyle Curtis. This is a lie. It's unproven. How do you know it's a lie? He won't provide any evidence. If he doesn't have any evidence it was a 50-50 partnership, it's not a 50-50 damn partnership. If you don't have evidence that the earth is flat, then it's not flat, you ding-dongs. Why is this so hard to see that people are acting like a flat earther and believing this? Now, all he's got to do is show a little bit of damn evidence that it was a 50-50. There is none. There's none. We've been looking for it for a while. We thought there was a written agreement. We thought there was a contract. I'm not going to repeat myself forever here, but there isn't. This is a lie. But he doesn't mind writing it. He doesn't care to not show evidence for it, but he doesn't mind writing it. The show was pretty popular and over about a year's time earned around $60K. Again, he has no clue what the damn show earned. Kyle actually took the books, everything that the show took in, and put it down and proved that the show lost negative $40,000. So how in the Samuel H. effing stuff is it 60 thou that you're owed? I don't get this. Wait, over about a year's time earned 60. When it came time to pay me on April 15th, Mr. Curtis refused to show me the financials. No, he didn't. He kicked you off the show. I have a video of Shannon Q trying to give you and Red's Rhetoric the financials. You know what? I'm done. I'm pulling it up. Let's grab it. Let's see how fast I can debunk. Now, do you realize he is putting this information into a GoFundMe campaign? If I prove him wrong right now, if I prove right now that he's lying, then isn't that like fraud or some shit? Tell me in the live chat what it is. But let me just fast forward up to Shannon Q coming in. Now listen closely to what the beautiful Shannon Q says here.
I haven't been on Twitter. I've been taking a break from Twitter for the evening because this whole NIFB stuff is starting to I'm exhausted.
Oh shit, the thing in Orlando.
My name's, do you have any soy, Shannon? Too?
Utterly exhausted. But this seemed important.
Yeah.
Okay. Take out the Red's Rhetoric jokes, Busy. I just don't have the energy for it right now.
Because people are slandering something that's important to me. I care about all of the people involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate this conversation about the money that happens.
I've expressed because he's
zero conversation about the money that happens in the channel.
Yes.
Shannon, let me try.
Yes.
I need my soy so I can jump in and talk, Shannon.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, I don't understand. Relied on.
Shannon,
no, you're right.
Shannon, how do I read?
How do I say I just finished my soy shake?
All right. So.
I'm sorry.
I'm calming myself down because I really don't want to yell back and forth with you.
Oh, here it comes.
You Reds. I understand why you took tone with me because I didn't. You said a couple of things.
Business.
Public litigation of things that could be happening
I disagree
personally
and that's
able to be resolved.
Yes.
That's
okay.
That's correct.
Now Shannon's saying, what can we do to resolve this? So let's take a listen to what Shannon offers him.
So there was a conflict. It wasn't able to be resolved and it led to an end in a partnership.
Well, we don't know.
And because that conflict wasn't able to be resolved and it led
You notice how all of them are saying no when it is Kyle's decision? You notice that all of them jump in to say, oh, no, no end in partnership. No.
To an end in a partnership.
Well, hang on,
Now
guys.
we're having
Hang on, guys.
just that called us. He give you that 50% of the money.
Oh, wait, what's this? What is this? Because this B. Shannon just talked to Kyle the day you got kicked off the show. Mr. lies in a GoFundMe to get $5,000 from the community, thus defrauding the community in your GoFundMe campaign today. Could this be Kyle and Shannon trying, like Kyle spent the entire freaking time up to kicking you out, trying to pay you like he's proven to the internet, sent Shannon over here to try to pay you, and you got all your little buddies to jump in and play their little distraction game. Let's just listen to it. Let's just prove you wrong in your GoFundMe campaign today. Let's prove you a liar, at least in a couple points, because I could prove you one in all of it.
Give you that 50% of the money. Steve, because of his situation with getting government assistance, isn't able to accept it in a lump sum.
That's not how it's supposed to work anyway. This is why Katie said that you defrauded Medi-Cal here, or whatever you get paid from. It's pretty bad.
Thus, he won't accept it in a lump sum. I'm sure that they could work something out there where he can claim tax just a pot.
So you can go through this entire video and listen to Shannon repeatedly try to pay Steve out that night, and him refuse the money and the books.
And he said he would know how to do the ranking. Right? Of starting, hey, I'm kicking
his 50%
for that. That's why Vacuity 17 removed.
And
from
all
Patreon.
all him and Reds do is just ramble. They just ramble their mouths off. They don't even say anything. Go take a transcript of this video and just read it. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is just boring and bad.
I believe other people.
You reset it. You know when you're done.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
So there are some things that I think you need to understand and put on the affiliated with Steve McCrae.
I have people that what you
having a successful show. I don't
with our Raw show. Very thick to get their head.
Oh my God.
The simple thing, the simple thing, I'm not going to say something shady.
My
but
God.
we all know the narrative of it.
Shannon.
Oh, my
is it
ears.
from that standpoint. When you look at it from a standpoint of building a brand,
sequitur, you
compare myself to other people, and I understand the fact that he press release
until Steve maybe I would not.
Oh God, Nick, stop. Oh, come on.
Sleep. What I really want to do is just go to point, which I referenced, and he's been removed from that show. So in reference to it, I was referencing, and to make it so that it's no longer viable because this situation to you seems as though, or is in fact not something that is fair or equitable, then you will take whatever path you choose. However, I believe that there is a
Wow, she's kind of making sense right here, huh?
different path. There is a path of negotiation. There is a path where you don't build a public narrative where we sling arrows at one another.
Oh no, look at what happened, Shannon, a year later.
And have discussions about who's the least fair to who. And it's something
On my hypocrisy, you know, I use Trid.
It's okay, Red.
To the channel.
Bull, who we need out his
Was
The point is not deserve it. Because damn
is going to happen.
No, I had no idea
what Steve McCrae informed
from that.
I always have to I have to play this every time. He just lies his ass off about non sequitur. You just got to grab one stream to literally counter his entire narrative of bullshit.
From that, I've given money out. I've given money to Dave, and he got some money from non sequitur. I haven't seen anything from the show. No.
Yeah, I've gotten more than Steve has.
Yeah, but Steve, you have a lump sum of money that you know is waiting.
No,
for
I
you.
do not know.
Oh, you have a lump sum of money that's waiting. Well, let's see what Shannon says after this. Let's just debunk his entire stinking GoFundMe in the first paragraph. Why don't we?
First of all, I do not know that. I'm tracking him at his word that I do. I've not seen any financials. So
Okay, well, that has essentially been promised to you, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
but it was
So all you got to do is go to Kyle and get the money, ding dong. Oh, did Kyle show where he's been DMing you, trying to pay you? And trying to show you the books, and you're avoiding him on it, telling him you want it in cash, telling him you want it under the table? Yeah, Kyle did. I showed that all over my channel.
a
Right.
lot's been promised.
Meant that there's empty promises and that there's money that was never given to him with the financials.
No.
So here's the magic clip. Here you go. Take a listen. Did you deny the money, or did Kyle deny it to you?
Email transferred you all of that money now.
that's we're talking going forward.
Yeah, that wouldn't matter. Okay, so
You see, Steve, you're just pissed you got kicked off. You are mad that you harassing the women in the exact way that a judge determined you were harassing Katie Joy Paulson in the last 2-3 weeks. This is the thing that's causing him to go so crazy. There is evidence out there that now that this judge has legally put it in that he does this, it's what he's been denying. I didn't crowd stalk, cyber stalk, and harass Aaron Ra. I didn't crowd stalk, cyber stalk, and harass Bill Ludlow. I didn't crowd stalk, cyber stalk, and harass old, what's his name, Matt Dillahunty. What was his quote? Can somebody type Matt Dillahunty's quote in the live chat for me? I'd love to read it out. Was it language is our bitch and apparently so is Steve Mcrae? Somebody type that quote exactly out for me because I want to read it. But also the fact that Katie Joy Paulson stated that he did it to her. And then we watched him do it to her for a year. And then a judge gave him a restraining order, elevated it to the federal level through the VAWA, which is not expired. I literally showed you the justice.gov article stating that it has not expired. It doesn't have a clause to make it expire. And I showed you the article from the damn department that handles the VAWA that it's not expired, that it does stay into effect as the judge ordered it. All of that proves that he does run these campaigns. He does lie to people. And I've got some additional evidence to show you coming up in the next few days. Like, you know that Gumby Joy account? Actually, I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But let me give you a preview. The Gumby Joy account that was on Twitter. Well, somebody that doesn't like Steve decided to troll the Gumby Joy account by making a Gumby Joy Instagram account. And before it even had a chance to post, it got a DM from none other than Steve Mcrae. Now, I've got a recording of these DMs. I've got all these DMs saved. And it proves that while Steve was telling everybody through Sherelle's world that he doesn't care about Katie, that he doesn't watch Katie, that he doesn't tell people what to do when it comes to Katie, we've got DMs that prove he does all those things behind the scenes. Now, that's just a mountain of extra evidence to the fact that he does run these types of character assassination and kind of like a propaganda campaign to put these narratives out there into the community, like I've been trying to show you since he did this. But if he's going to keep conning, if he would just stop conning the community and lying to the community to take money over this, do his own normal content like everybody else on YouTube is trying to do, then we wouldn't need to keep doing streams like this. But while he's active on YouTube, going up there and sharing out fundraisers to try to lie to you about what happened against all recorded evidence of his own words, to try to take more money from a community that includes my audience, Conspiracy Cat's audience, Simon Dan's audience, Team Skeptics audience, Fight the Flat Earth's audience, Non Sequiturs old audience, Modern Day Debates old audience. This needs to be called out until he'll stop those actions and just starts making content. Again, he chooses to not make content on his channel. He chooses to instead do the things that lead to these consequences. But once he gains the consequence from his actions, it's always UNIRock's fault, or it's Kyle Curtis's fault. But mostly, it's Katie Joy Paulson's fault. Katie Joy being another man's wife, for God's sake.
I see what you're saying, Shannon. You're essentially saying that if...
Oh my God, I cannot stand to hear you talk, Cheshire. Please.
That there's empty promises and that there's money that was never given to him, and that it's been promised to him, but he doesn't know if he can trust that promise. And I'm saying if Kyle emails him the money that was promised to him
tonight, right now, and Kyle can back this up with his own DMs. Now, one other thing that Steve did was show his DMs with Kyle. I wonder why he didn't show the DMs that show Kyle trying to pay him many, many times. It's a little funny, isn't it?
Tomorrow.
No, I want to see the financial.
Will that be at least?
You just got offered all your money. Why are you doing this lawsuit? You could have just got your money. You could have got your money the day this all happened. It's almost like you purposely refused the money so that you could try to dupe the YouTube community into supporting your channel and getting you an audience and getting you patrons.
It's a partial resolution. Well,
No.
whatever. With the financials.
No.
With the financials? No. You won't take the financials or the money, Steve? Why did you write in a GoFundMe campaign today that you've taken over $1,259 for this. Where? Well, hold the front door. How do you see what the hell he wrote? Hold the, what the fuck? I just had it pulled up. All I did was refresh it. What the hell's going on here? Somebody, what's going on here? What happened? Hold on. There we go. Okay. Just in case there are a few people that haven't followed the non sequitur drama, yada, 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 yada. The show was popular. When it came time to pay me, Mr. Curtis refused to show me the financials and wouldn't pay me. Can you please say this again, Shannon Q?
Kyle emails him the money that was promised to him tomorrow.
No, I want to see the financials.
Will that be at least a partial resolution? Well,
No.
whatever. With the financials.
No.
Can I say one
You
thing?
could go with.
Why are you interrupting, Sean? It's almost like this is what you do, Sean. It's almost like why Steve brings you there, my guy. Why are you interrupting, Chesh? It's almost like Steve could have all of his problems solved that he's going to bitch about for the next year and a half. But instead, he willingly chooses to not resolve this. He's not offered any... Get your ass out of my face. He's not just told he's going to be given the money. He's offered it that night with the financials to know how much. He's got the money literally waiting to be sent to him. But that's not what he says here. That's not what he says here. He says when it came time to pay me, Curtis refused to show me the financials and wouldn't pay me. Isn't this illegal? I mean, you can get up on YouTube and lie your ever-loving ass off. Isn't it illegal to do it while asking for $5,000 from our community? Isn't it, though? Or am I crazy? I know. I know what it is. UNIRock isn't credible. He's lost all of his credibility. He's lost his ever-loving mind. You see, I used to support you, Steve, and so did a lot of YouTubers until they realized you were conning their audience. Just like you're doing right here today. And yet you think we're all just obsessive over you. It would all go away the minute you stop trying to worm money out of the community. This would all stop, and you know it. You can lie all you want, my dude. All it does is reflect badly on you. Now the entire YouTube community knows that you're a con man and a liar. And what you did today in this GoFundMe 100% confirms what I've said for months. Say it again for me, my guy. Say it again. And then get your simps to interrupt.
Kyle emails him the money that was promised to him tomorrow.
No, I want to see the financials.
Will that be at least a partial resolution? Well,
No.
whatever. With the financials.
No.
Can I say one
You
thing?
could go with.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Hang on.
I need to go to bed. I can't. Like, this is just.
It's almost like Shannon was in there for 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 25 seconds trying to pay Steve with the books, where Reds and Steve continually said no. Why? It's time for the skeptic community to wake the hell up and start asking some questions. Why wouldn't they take the books and the money back then? Why? Why? Could it be because they wanted the channel? Could it be because they wanted those 26-some thousand subs for Steve? Could that be what this is all about, is just subscribers? A fucking number? An empty number that doesn't mean anything if you don't earn it the right way? Could it be just all for show? Could it be the pettiest, fakest thing you've ever seen? Could it be that somebody is so obsessed with numbers that they're willing to do anything to try to get ahead just so they can try to look better than a YouTuber that they don't like or a YouTuber that they're envious of? Could this all be what this has been about for all this time? Somebody's willing to go and put the YouTube community and all these different channels through all of this to be able to just have their number represented higher than others? Well, no, it has a lot to do with conning money out of your wallets, too.
Going to go in circles, and I don't know all the details. So
All right.
essentially, I'm sitting in here with other people
You're right,
who don't
you're right.
know.
We need
Arguing the details when
Well,
arguing the details with a bunch of people that don't know the details. Well, luckily, we've got a spoken record through the communication between Steve and Kyle. It's been detailed on this YouTube channel, and I don't need to keep doing this stupid garbage every time he tells another lie to try to worm money out of our community. The truth is, I'm not even existing in that community anymore. I'm off doing different things. But the problem is the fact that not a single other YouTuber will stand up and speak the things I'm showing you because they're scared they'll lose a couple subscribers in doing it. Well, let's continue down this abhorrent lie-filled document. When it came time to pay me on tax day, Mr. Curtis refused me the financials, wouldn't pay me, then removed me and the producer from the channel, took all the money, and told me to sue him. He kicked you off because you were sexually harassing women. The proof is in the restraining order, my guy. You obviously didn't get any better since a year ago. You've only gotten worse. You've only gotten sloppier. And you've left a trail of harassment on the internet and on your phone and on your computer. And it only took a judge to look at that shit for about an hour before they slammed the gavel down and said, restrained. Which he did sue him. And on January 3rd, the Honorable James, in a partial default judgment, do you realize what a default is? Well, the problem is this isn't really true anymore because the judge has offered to hear Kyle Curtis. Let me say this again. The judge has offered to hear Kyle Curtis. All Kyle's got to do is get a lawyer and go step in front of this judge. And the judge is going to allow Kyle to show him what I just showed you times 1,000. Because there's not just one clip. There is not just one clip. There are hundreds of them. And literally, it's just baffling that this is what is written to take money from the community today. He wants to recover legal costs. This doesn't make sense because you didn't pay those legal costs. Why isn't this in Ruhif's name if you're recovering those legal costs? Why isn't this in Ruhif's name? Because it's not about collecting money to recover legal costs. It's about paying for the RO lawsuit. He's trying to counter the lawsuit, and he needs a lawyer, and he needs you guys. He knows that legally he can't put up that he's doing this to fight Katie Joy because he'll violate the RO. So he's very simply trying to lie about why he's taking the money so he can go fight the RO. How do I know this? Because that's what happened over the weekend. He got a court date to go fight the RO. And on Monday morning, you're telling me that, let me make sure it's Monday morning. On Monday morning, you're telling me he just created this for some other reason? He didn't get falsely DMCA'd. According to YouTube itself, by his own admission on his Twitter, when he tried to complain to YouTube that he needed their help, they wrote back and said, there's no problem here, and he laughed about it. They said there was no problem because Kyle owns the damn copyright, my dude. You make every YouTuber look bad. You make the whole process look bad. Fast forward to more recently. What a sentence, period. How do I do this? Do I need a VCR? Fast forward to more. What button do I push? Fast forward to more recently. Is there a more recently button on my VCR? Kyle Curtis, a prior convicted felon. So now, why don't you put the bad things you've done, dude? Why don't you put the messed up things you've done in this? Because it's a narrative. Kyle's a bad guy. Steve's the best guy ever. He can lie to the whole community. Why don't you put in here that you know what should be in here? That restraining order, because it relates to this story. Before people hand you money, they should know that you have literally been confirmed as a cyber stalker by a restraining order. Made a conscious decision to commit possibly another felony by walking in the same footsteps as infamous YouTuber Brett Keane. How did he do that? Brett Keane didn't have the copyright for the art and for the music. Another lie. Kyle holds the copyright. It's not false DMCA. For filing false DMCAs to weapons to try to take down videos and or shut down YouTube channels. For on that day, Curtis, in an attempt to merely harass me. Oh my God, somebody choke me out. You're saying Kyle Curtis harassed you? This is a troll GoFundMe. It's another troll GoFundMe. It's another troll. Remember when I accused Red's Rhetoric of his GoFundMe falsehoods? Remember when he came back and admitted that he did a troll GoFundMe to troll me? This is what he's doing. He's trolling Kyle. But the problem is he's collecting money from the community while he does it, just like Reds did. So now we know why Reds does it, and now we know why Steve does it. Insanity. You're literally going to put that Mr. Curtis was harassing you. Oh my Lord, it's insane. Wow. You will say you're astronomically honest while writing this. Mr. Curtis, who has left the internet, who has tried to get on with his life, who has tried to just do his own thing and be his own person, who got sued by you with a bunch of lies that you told a judge, and you probably are going to have to pay for those lies once Kyle walks into that courtroom. And it's another reason why you are flipping out like you are. But Curtis is harassing you? Oh my Lord. Issued my main channel, Steve Mcrae, a false copy strike from, yes, you guessed it, Non Sequitur Show. Kyle owns the copyright for the art. Let's just say, against all fucking logic, you end up getting a hold of Non Sequitur Show. You still have to take down every one of Kyle's musical scores and artistic endeavors. You can't use those. They're a separate copyright. Steve gives the Amanda Bynes vibe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Upon doing so, I and my lawyer believe that Mr. Curtis willfully committed an act of perjury, as when you sign a DMCA, you're swearing under oath and penalty of law that you own the copyright to something else has been infringed upon. He only filed it on videos that contained his music and his damn art. I showed the copyright on this YouTube channel. You know that's true, though. See, this is the issue, y'all. He knows that Kyle has that copyright. He knows it. He knows it for a fact. He knows this for a fact. He wrote this as this is another blatant lie. He knows Kyle had a copyright under Kyle Curtis. He willfully knew the NSS was legitimately mine, including all copyright and related business assets for the shows per the ruling of the judge. You don't, look, let's just pretend like you're going to get everything. You still don't get his music and his art. He filed it under a separate copyright back in 2017, dude. But guess what? It doesn't stop there. But guess what? It doesn't stop there. Nope. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Mr. Curtis then continued to issue 3 more false DMCA notices, preventing me from streaming or even uploading videos for effectively the entire month of June. Remember, Mr. Curtis already stole $60,000. Now, wait a minute. You said that you guys, your claim is that you are 50-50. So he only stole $30,000, your share. Or are you saying that he's going to have to pay you for the entirety of Non Sequitur? You're just going to say that if there is some magic wand you get to wave that makes Kyle give you all of his non-sec money. Because you came up with the number, 60,000. I've seen the books. The books are negative 40,000. Provably. You want to know why they're negative 40,000? Because Kyle has his own copyright. Steve knows this because he was issued this document, just like the one I read. And it lists all of the art and all the music that Kyle copyrighted. Now, Kyle was so smart to copyright it himself. Kyle, you're a freaking genius, my man. Most people would have left it under the non-sec copyright. Kyle copyrighted it under Kyle Curtis because he probably wanted to make sure nothing like this ever happened and that all of his artwork and music wouldn't get stolen by some freako who shouldn't even want Kyle's music or Kyle's art. You should want your own shit. And if you can't make it, you should want to buy it from somebody. You should not want to just order it off of Kyle. He legitimately thinks that he should own all of Kyle's stuff. So, yeah, Kyle does need to sue the hell out of this guy. So when Kyle starts his GoFundMe tonight and I share it, make sure you hook up Kyle. Make sure you hook up Kyle. He already stole 60K. That's just bullshit. He can't steal the entire amount if you're saying it was a 50-50 ownership. We all know it wasn't a 50-50 ownership, but still, which could lead to possible criminal charges when the civil matter is resolved. And now he has, your civil matter is getting tossed out of court. Kyle has seen a couple lawyers. He has one that represents him now. All those lawyers told him that if he didn't get served correctly, then this was going to get thrown out. That's why Steve's doing this. He wants to make some money off of this before it gets thrown out of court. The case may be precedent in many regards. First, regarding the legal standing of business partnerships on YouTube. But what now? Really? Second, somebody getting a DMCA notice from their own channel that they legally own but don't have primary ownership because the person who committed fraud has it. See how he puts that in there? It sounds like a flat earther. The person who committed fraud has it. The person who committed fraud. Well, you committed fraud here. You're literally trying to extort money out of the community using blatant lies. In 2019, sued copyright troll Chris Brady under blah, blah, blah. He was using them to extort money from content creators, resulting in a judgment to YouTube for $25K. I could sue Mr. Curtis under it. I'm already in litigation with him for $30K, half of the $60 he stole. How did he steal $60 if you're only getting $30? You see how the propaganda works in the demented mind of the boomer dementia? Oh my God, this is the worst part. Oh my God, this is where it gets so freaking bad. However, some intellectual property lawyer wants to take this case pro bono for the publicity that it may receive. As being a very unique YouTube case, I would probably be just fine with that. But I'm still weighing all my legal options. You think you're a celebrity, dude? The publicity that you pull in is supposed to pay for this? You would need to pay the lawyer extra money for taking this case due to your reputation. Wow! Learning with Suge says, and you should subscribe to Learning with Suge. He's a great guy. That's a long GoFundMe article. Is that what he's been doing the last 10 days? Oh, of course. Well, not just that. He's been meeting with his lawyers for the last X amount of days, trying to figure out what he's going to do about the RO. And they finally put in that he got a date today. So does anybody think that this is about the non sequitur case, which is just waiting on their next? They've been waiting. He says this is about the non sequitur case. He says it's about false DMCAs that he knows aren't false DMCAs. But do you think that he just decided out of the blue to rip this GoFundMe out of his boomer diaper for reasons of Kyle Curtis and non-sec? Or could it be that he's got additional legal charges for having his lawyer file to protect him on the RO and argue the RO? Because that's what's happening next. Provably, what happens next in this entire boomer saga is the RO defense appointment with the courts. That's what he's got to do next. He's got to go stand in front of the judge with his lawyer and argue that they didn't harass Katie and that he doesn't deserve a restraining order. And God knows how he's going to do that, because the judge made this decision based off of literal video clips, literal writings from Mcrae, backed up information on his Twitter. How in the world are you going to defend against this? I cannot believe you're paying a lawyer to defend the RO. You're throwing your money. Well, that's not true. See, that's why you're going to defend against the RO. You're not going to be throwing your money away. You're going to be throwing the community's money away. You see, if Steve actually had to reach into his own crusty pockets to pay for the RO defense legal fund for the lawyer, for the restraining order thing, if he had to actually pay it himself, he wouldn't even be showing up to fight the restraining order. But because you're going to pay for it with this GoFundMe, this lie, this atrocious lie of a GoFundMe, because you're going to pay for it, he doesn't care. He's going. He's going. And here's where it gets so bad. because of not being able to stream, I'm losing a significant amount of revenue, along with just having spent several thousands of dollars on legal fees and lawyers on defending myself against accusations against one of Mr. Core's former co-hosts. That's right, he brings up Katie Joy Paulson in the damn GoFundMe. And yes, already I made sure to wait until it was done to do this stream. Katie has turned this in to her lawyers. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. You've got all these YouTubers out there that have done and said things to defend him. Dick Dawson, Team Skeptic, Fight the Flat Earth, Red's Rhetoric. All these YouTubers that have defended him blindly for all this time, just so they could try to allow him to do the next fraudulent fundraiser, the next lie against another YouTuber, the next thing, and try to protect him because he gives them more chances for their own GoFundMes, their own fundraisers, their own views, the opportunity to just maybe get back up on the Non Sequitur show like they used to. It's all it takes. Just dangle that thing like a carrot on the end of a fishing pole, and you've got these YouTubers galloping ahead to your defense. It's kind of sick, because if there's ever a fraudulent-ass GoFundMe full of lies and bullshit, it's this. Ruhif from Australia paid for your legal fees. Are you recouping Ruhif's money? No. Well, what do you mean you're recouping money? Well, you chose to take these strikes. You had a button that you could push that would have removed the copyrighted material from these videos. You chose not to push it. You could have privated those videos. You chose not to private them. But now you're going to sit here and tell the community, woe is me. I chose the victimhood status that I now take upon you all to take the money out of your wallets to try to fight the evil 100,000 subscriber YouTuber Katie Joy Paulson and that really mean gay guy Kyle Curtis. I need your money. I'm a victim of these people. They have done nothing but attack me for a year and a half. They've done nothing but try to destroy my business, not me destroying them. Oh, no. It doesn't matter what evidence is out there. It's all been fabricated against me, and all of the fake evidence I produce about them is real. And you know what? Now that I'm broke because nobody will donate to my streams for 2 months, now that I can't get any money from YouTube, now that my Patreon's drying up, and now that I'm having to pay money to these lawyers just to try to keep afloat, you guys are going to have to rise to the occasion and step in and help me fight this fight. Open up your wallets. Open up your hearts. We've got a great community. Right, Red's Rhetoric? Isn't that the speech? Isn't that what you say to them when you get questions about this? Oh, these lawyers. Steve's lawyer hit the damn jackpot. This lawyer doesn't have to do shit but listen to Steve rant, and he gets paid all this money to barely do any work because basically he knows he doesn't. What's the lawyer doing? The lawyer's not doing shit. He knows he's basically just making his money doing nothing. What do you do for this guy? You already know you're going to lose. Because of not being able to stream, I'm losing a significant amount of revenue, along with having spent several thousands of dollars on legal fees and lawyers on defending myself against accusations against one of Mr. Curtis's accusations. August says his next paragraph says 30K. It makes no sense. I've got some information. Remember, I've got boomer spies. I'm going to hook you up. Just hold up. Now, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. So, you have spent thousands of dollars on legal fees and lawyers on defending myself against accusations against one of Mr. Curtis's former co-hosts, which I can't at the moment discuss. You just did. In a... What? Come... Kitty, 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 kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Come on. The cat's crying. Come on. You can hang out with me. Come on. Busy, do you mind? Well, can you do something with that cat? It's over there crying. Give it some of your crack, Busy. Just party with it for a minute. Give it. It'll be happy if you just give it some. Share with it. You can. Yes, you do share. I'm making you share. He's on crack. I can't at the moment discuss. You just discussed her. You can put your butt in the camera again. Go ahead. Who cares? He can't at the moment discuss her, huh? You can't. You just discussed her. You are literally making a claim right here. See, the problem, Steve, is that you're also making a claim. Hey, big guy. Just stay right there, okay? Just chill. Chill out. Oh, it's sharp. I'm telling you. That was the I wanted to scream much louder because of not. Okay, so let's read this really slow because you cannot directly or indirectly talk about her. Those two things exist inside those documents. Directly or in. What's your lawyer going to do when you take all this money you conned out of these people by lying to them and you give it to that lawyer to stand in front of the judge for that RO and the judge says, you've already violated the RO? What are you going to do then? Because you realize if you want to make an argument to the judge you don't deserve the RO, you should at least be able to, you know, you should be able to follow the RO up until you get in front of the judge. I know the judge isn't going to be happy. Best cat dad? I'm a cat dad now. His name is Splat. He is. His name is Splat because he keeps trying to jump out of. He'll want in my hands, and then he tries to leap out of them, and I gotta jump myself to try to stop him from splatting on the ground. He thinks he's Super Cat. You see my toad? I'll show you my toad in a minute. Because of not being able to stream, you chose to not be able to stream. It is let's just stick here. It's atrocious to try and get money out of the community when you chose this. When it was a simple click. When you know Kyle owns that music and that art. He tried to get you to take it down. You just are. That's scummy, bro. That's so scummy against the people that support you. Yeah, I know they hate me. I know your supporters hate me. But my God, you treat them like shit, dude. Literally lying to their faces. Not even telling them you chose this. It's not right for you to get them to pay for it when you chose it. You should at least tell them that you chose this. You should at least be putting that in the GoFundMe. I chose to get the strikes. Now I'm here asking you for $5,000. You notice anytime these guys do a GoFundMe, it's not for a couple $100. Like the last one was a $10,000 GoFundMe where they claimed the money was stolen out of the bank account that ended up they wanted $5,000 or $6,000 more dollars because the money was stolen out of the bank account. That's not bullshit. That happened. It's a pretty big deal in the community right now. A lot of people are just now learning about it. And if you don't know, I've got a documentary coming out right after the Katie Joy documentary that'll show every step of what happened, okay? So just wait. I got your back. But you chose to accept these strikes. You could have. See, what sickens me, he can't even do 30 seconds of work so that he can save his audience from paying this big amount of money. He chooses to get the strikes so that he can go ask them for the money. I am losing a significant amount of revenue. You chose it. It's your fault. Take some personal responsibility, my dude. Fuck. Along with just having spent thousands on legal fees and lawyers on defending myself against accusations. Defending myself against accusations. Well, Katie didn't make any accusations against you. What you did was harass her and put her down and target her with all these accounts, these sock accounts, all this harassment to try to influence her and confuse her and get her to feel sorry, to feel pitiful, and to stand up and make an apology. The reason she deleted your apology is because of this reason. Because she was right to call you out for the... He says that Katie accused him of VA fraud or some type of Medi-Cal fraud. He also says that Katie Joy Paulson, he says Katie Katie accused him of fraud, and Katie accused him of schmexual smashment. Well, we already know the SH thing is real. If you need the David Silverman clip of them saying, I want to SHSA Katie right now. Penis, 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 penis. We've got that clip for you if you need it. It's on Twitter. Or if you need the clip where Steve is looking into the camera saying exactly what he said to Katie in the original statement. Or like when, Steve said that after Steve, we've got another clip that is surfaced where Steve is saying that Katie claimed to be Me Too'd to him after he talked about his junk and how much of a sexual prowess he had. That clip is already surfaced, but here's the famous clip around the world. Accusations by Katie Joy Paulson. Well, you named two, the VA fraud thing and the SH thing. It is her opinion that what you said to her was inappropriate and does fit because it happened in the workplace to be SH. Now, if you look at the definition of SH in the workplace, let me actually read it to you. Here we go. Sexual harassment includes unwelcome sexual advances or requests for sexual favors and comments, jokes, acts, or other verbal or physical conduct that is of a sexual nature or directed at employees based on their sex. And that is exactly what happened to Katie Joy Paulson on the Non Sequitur Show from Steve Mcrae. I have played several clips where he admits to saying those comments about his penis and sexual prowess to her. So we know she didn't lie about the SH. You are the one that loves to fight for definitions, my guy. Here it is. The definition of workplace SH. And what you said to her, as long as she feels uncomfortable, which she did, fits the definition. So we know for a fact that now, after seeing the definition, that she didn't make any claims. She literally told you how she felt there. Though the only other thing that he claims that Katie accused him of was defrauding whatever pays him. Well, thanks to this YouTube clip, now we have like 3 of them where he admits to this. But here's one where he admits to this. We now know that you didn't have to defend yourself against any of her accusations because she said it due to your own words. Take a listen.
Steve and Steven, all caps.
All caps, soybeans in all caps, soy shakes in all caps. Sorry.
Did Kyle give you the opportunity to have money, but you weren't able to take it because you were on Social Security or veterans pension, and it would have affected that? And Kyle didn't. Because you're making it seem as though Kyle withheld money from you.
No, let me make this very clear. I asked, Kyle said he would talk to me how it could be distributed. I asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's talk about how you're going to get it to me. He has never once told me how he's going to get it to me. He's never offered to have a discussion of how he's going to get it to me. I said, Kyle, that's fine. Let's figure out how you're going to get it to me. I thought he was going to bring it to me in October when we have this meeting in October. He can bring cash to me. Okay. But he has never asked me about how he says, I've told him, he said, how do you want it? I said, well, let's discuss it. I said, fine. We'll have a discussion on it. That discussion never happened.
Well, I can prove that discussion did it. You just admitted the discussion happened. You didn't know what to say, did you? Because you got caught in a lie. But the problem is, Katie Joy Paulson didn't accuse you of anything. She took your words and repeated them. That's not accusing you of something. That's you talking. That's you going out and saying things just because you lie, just because you can't keep your story straight from day to day, based on the narrative that you need to tell to do what? What do you do these narratives for? Oh, yeah, to make the kind of money you make off the community. Just because of you doing that doesn't make Katie an accuser like you're saying she is. In the Gofundme. Wrong button. In the Gofundme. Why am I not in my gaming room? There I am. In the Gofundme. I'm silly. But what was I doing? Oh, yeah. The point is, dude, you're not supposed to mention her, even indirectly. This is the definition of you, not somebody else, indirectly mentioning Katie. And you know you put her in here for a reason, because you know the people that are going to be willing to drop that money on this thing. If they read some shit about Katie here, they're going to open their wallets, because that's what it's been about the whole time, my guy. The whole time it's been about you having a lack of an ability to make content. You have no creativity. There's nothing about you that you can sit down and make something that people like. And because of that, you've got to go out at YouTubers that are actually gaining something, or that actually can talk live, or that actually put work into what they do, and you got to try to assault them with claims. Assault them. You need to prove Right now, you have been rebutted. You have been proven that what you say about Katie is a lie. And you've been watching my show. After I finished my Periscope earlier today, the minute that I ended it, he started on a tweet storm because he was triggered by what I said in the Periscope. And he does it constantly. In fact, he admits to watching Katie Joy constantly in the Gumby Joy account that he accidentally had a bunch of DMs with. Though, let's get this done. I want to go play some video games. I'm so sick of this garbage. Now, this is what is it just keeps getting worse. Mr. Curtis's former co-host, which I can't, at the moment discuss. You just discussed her. This judge already has this. So you can try to delete it if you want. It's backed up. It's archived. It's been downloaded. It's been added to several websites that archive and back up things on the internet that are published by people, right? You've shared this. We can prove that you've shared this. We can prove that you've told people to donate to this. You have told people that you are taking the money from this. It's too late. Again, you make a giant mistake here. I just don't get it, dude. Oh, I can't believe it. I honestly am in shock about this story. It's too much. Even Nate Brody donated to this stream saying that this just gets crazier and crazier. Why would you do this? You know how bad this looks and this is going to look to the judge, Steve? I'm talking to you as me, Jason, UNIRock. Jason, you know, you always call me Jason. I'm talking to you as a person here, bro. You are screwing yourself. Why, dude? You threw it all away. You just threw it all away. Something just snapped in your mind, didn't it? Never seen anything like it. And you're never going to see anything like it again on the internet. No one will ever fall this far by their own actions and decisions. We thought Darkside Phil was bad. He's the guy, he's the live streamer that masturbated on stream on accident. We thought that was bad, destroying his career. We thought Wings of Redemption was bad. The only reason that this story isn't going to get really big, it's only going to stay kind of big, is because of the fact that he has no following. Welcome, Jimmy. Glad to have you, my dude. Only reason this thing's not going to get a lot bigger is because he doesn't have a big following. He doesn't have it. But I just can't wait until Creepshow Art updates her. When Creepshow finds out that he harassed another YouTuber with 100,000 subs for a year and got a restraining order, get a hold of Creepshow. Give her the evidence of this case. Creepshow will do a video on this. It'll get hundreds of thousands of views again, so I don't see why she wouldn't. Shit, Permink should update his video about Without a Crystal Ball that involves Steve Mcrae. That got 5.3 million views. All of these things are what goes to show how crazy this story is. Okay, what do we got? My legal, but many may be well aware I'm starting a GoFundMe to recoup my legal cost and loss of revenue from false DMCAs. Dude, you didn't spend any money on legal costs. Ruhif did it. You admitted that Ruhif was doing it. Did Ruhif back out? If Ruhif did back out, why aren't you telling us that Ruhif backed out? Ruhif, do you mind tweeting if you backed out? Nobody hates you, dude. Nobody thinks you're a bad guy. We just think Steve got in your head. Can Ruhif, can you let us know what's going on? Because my God, dude, the dude's trying to rip off the community again. Ruhif, even if you don't like us, don't you like the community out there? You hate us. Don't you still like the community, though? Are you okay with this, dude? You paid for everything, and now here he is saying he needs to recoup legal funds. Did he, what, no, the legal funds you didn't pay any money for. It's crazy town, man. It's just straight psycho. I just can't even, it's insane. Anyway, he wants to recoup legal funds, even though he's admitted to all of us that Ruhif paid for all of it. I don't know why Ruhif isn't recouping legal funds. And for past and future filing fees by asking the community to help me as I have helped others in the past. You've never helped anybody, dude. Here's the issue. You can help people, but if you cause a lot of harm in the community, that help just goes down as the harm goes up. Then if you try to make up for all the damage you've caused, the harm goes down. Excuse me. I had tacos tonight. The harm goes down as the help rises up. You are at negative 16.3 billion karma. You have not helped anybody, bro. You would have to spend the next 10 years making up with all the stuff you've done in the community. That's only if Reds and all of your other buddies also tried to make up for all the bullshit you guys have done, because you did it as a group with coordinated propaganda troll campaigns. It's crazy town, bro. So, but still, you need to recoup lost revenue from false DMCAs, but they're not false DMCAs. If they were false, you could just prove to YouTube they were false and they'd go away. Everybody that gets a false DMCA proves to YouTube that it's false. They show the person doesn't have a copyright. The issue is that Kyle Curtis showed YouTube he does have the copyright. And Steve knows this. And he still asked you guys to foot his bill because it's not about this. It's not about the strikes that he got from Kyle. He's trying to raise money to pay a lawyer to defend him on the RO. All right. Don't forget IG Gumby. I will tell the story. You'll get the full thing in my documentary about this. But thank you. And keep reminding me of things because I will forget. You know me by now. Right? You know me by now, right? Okay. Okay. As I have helped others in the past, I am not looking to make a profit. You are looking to make a damn profit, you liar. Liar. Make a profit? What? What? You think you are a prophet? Lying this much to everybody. We have to believe you're a prophet just to understand this. It's the only thing that would make sense if you're Jesus Christ himself at this point with all these lies. Because then you could just snap your finger and turn water into wine, turn non sequitur into Steve Mcrae. As most know, I don't make a lot as a YouTuber. You did make a lot as a YouTuber. You did. You don't now because of your actions, dude. Because of what you've done over the last year. You don't make a lot as a YouTuber. That's a lie anyway. Ruhif, if Ruhif wasn't paying your court fees, the dude would have been sending you a butt ton of money every month like he used to. You chose this, dude. You really think Ruhif was going to keep sending you all that cash if he had to pay your damn legal bills? As most know, I don't make, which I do full time. And no, you don't. You haven't been doing shit on YouTube. You don't do YouTube. That is a bold statement. That is a bold statement. Where's your edited videos? Where's your content for the last month? It's 3 months. Where's your content for the last 3 months that actually makes sense? You got people that make YouTube videos all day, every day, and they actually upload content that shows that they make that they do YouTube every day. They put enough work into the prep of what they do. You guys try to say that your live streams take hours to prep. I've been to your live streams. You do not even talk about before you guys start a live stream, you do not even go over everything. You don't even have a plan. It's literally push the button and just ramble. And it's evident by looking at your content. So it's just BS. I do full-time. Combined expenditure and loss of revenue is approximately $5,000. Is astronomically you need oh really? You've lost $5,000, huh? But what happened to Ruhif paying your bills, dude? You can't come out and admit that he's doing it. He can't go to Twitter and in your live chat bragging about paying your bills and then have you come in and do this, dude. No. Even if you can't help, share this. See, this is the egregious thing. He's trying to use other YouTubers that have no clue of what's going on, and he's trying to bait them into sharing it to their audience, and this is why he is what he used to claim Katie was. He is an existential threat to YouTube, like he used to say Katie was. He is at this point. He is an existential threat. The guy wants every YouTuber to feel sorry for the victim thing that he's created that is not true. I just proved it wasn't true with several clips. I will play them again before I exit out. But the point is, if you're sharing this to your community, you are spitting in your community's face. This dude is conning you, and it is too obvious now. There's not even an argument anymore. He doesn't even care to show it anymore. He just straight does it, and he just tries to block anybody who comes out to call him out. That's what he does. He's got to that point. It's just go out and con him, and then block everybody who says anything. Please help share this GoFundMe to make YouTube and other content creators aware of the situation as I have written, then multiple times, and just get automated response. See, it doesn't. What does this mean? Have you lost your booming mind? What is this paragraph, dude? Let's try to actually figure this out. I gotta hit my vape before I try to read this. It's too much. Will you read it to me, Busy? Well, go ahead. Well, I thank you, Melanie, and you're always welcome here. When to expect the documentary? It will probably take a solid week, and I've already got a large percentage of video and editing prepped. It's going to take at least, I'd say, a week once I get it really ironed out. Now, luckily, I'm going to have a good portion of it finished before we find out the final thing. Because what I'd like to do, as soon as we get updated on the result of everything, I'd like to just record the last little bit and then render it out and upload it. So it'll be really fast. It'll be right when everything happens, a full accounting of everything. I'm going to do my best to aim for that, but at the same time, I've got to make regular content and also live streams, so it might be a day or two after we get the final result. Either way, it shouldn't be long after we get the final thing. I'm looking, if you saw my last video on Restrained, if you saw that last video I did, it's going to be of the same quality as Restrained with the filters and the video effects and the editing. So it'll take a little bit, but I'll get it out as soon as I can. I'll cut some corners. I will cut some corners for you. Thank you, though, for the donation. He's trying to order the bots to share. You guys are funny. It's true, though. Okay, even if you can't help, share this GoFundMe to make YouTube and other content creators aware of the situation, as I have written then multiple times, and just get automated responses and or a representative who has no real authority, as I would like YouTube to help. He has lost his mind. This doesn't make sense. I can't decipher. Busy, can you get on the phone, please? You need to call an Egyptian boomer decipherer. An expert in boomer hieroglyphics, if you will. Oh my God, just call a linguist. Hold on a minute. What do you mean you don't know what a linguist is? Everybody knows what a linguist is. Did you not go to college? You smoke crack too much. If you keep arguing with me, you're fired. You're gonna be fired. While I offer nothing in return for those helping me with gifting me support here, you're not asking for gifting support. This is a gift. This is a damn, you're asking for charity. You're asking for a, you're saying that this is a gift? I thought that this was for something. So is it a gift or is it for something here? Gifting me support here. Every single name who does, I will remember. Do not do this. Do not donate. He's going to, you know what he does to people when he remembers their names? He doxes them. He harasses them. He expects for more from them. He's never done anything nice for anybody. This dude's a psychopath. So then he links to the damn lawsuit, which you should go read if you gave money to this guy because he's bullshitting you. And he copied and pasted some shit about the lawsuit in the end. In order to submit a copyright takedown notice to YouTube, the submitting party must assert under the penalty of perjury that the complaint is accurate. It was. He has the damn copyright, my guy. He owns the... How are you gonna say it's not his music? It's not filed under non-sec. The shit he hit you for was filed under Kyle Curtis. You know, you just can't take it, bruh. You can't take the fact that you got played. You got played out. You thought that Kyle... Why do you deserve Kyle's music and art? Why? The sheer fact that you want to take ownership of his music and art proves that you should not have control of that channel, because you should want it to be fair, and you should want him to have his shit, you should want you to have your shit, and then you should both go on your own way. But you know you can't make music, you know you can't make art, and you know you need it from him, because if you don't get it from him, you're going to have to pay somebody else to do it, because anyone else that would have done it for you either sucks at it or is going to charge you money, and that's why you're doing this. These things should be enough for the community to be out there criticizing this action. People like doomed that are out there supporting this and sharing it, people out there that are just okay with this, you guys should be held to a standard. And in the future, when you guys criticize others and when you keep doing this kind of bullshit to your communities, people should criticize you. Because at the top of this thing, before I I summarize this whole thing so we can get on to something else, I want to read one little part and then I want to play something for you. When it came time to pay me, Kyle Curtis refused to show me the financials. Mr. Curtis refused to show me the financials and wouldn't pay me. The entire crux of his GoFundMe is debunked by this clip.
I agree. But do you also agree that if the first two are done, that says absolutely nothing about the third thing, and that the third thing still needs to be discussed? Do you agree with that?
I think that that's a discussion that still needs to happen. It's none of my goddamn business, and it's none of everybody else's goddamn business. That's between Steve. Everybody's
I can't please everybody.
Maybe Steve and Stephen all caps. Steve and Stephen all caps. Steve and Stephen all caps.
It's very clear. It's very
Steve and Stephen all caps. So,
Steve, did Kyle give you the opportunity to have money, but you weren't able to take it because you were on Social Security or veterans pension, and it would have affected that? And Kyle didn't. Because you're making it seem as though Kyle withheld money from you.
No, let me make this very clear.
No, he didn't withhold money from you, but you are accepting thousands of dollars from the community saying that he did withhold money. That's what wouldn't pay me means, Mr. Mcrae. How many times do I have to play this until you wake up that we're not going to let you defraud our community anymore, even though some YouTubers like Team and Fight are okay with it?
Maybe Steve Mcrae would do more for the show if he got paid in all caps. He has to do other channels to make the fucking money. I was a patron to support Kyle and Steve and Stephen all caps. So
Steve, did Kyle give you the opportunity to have money, but you weren't able to take it because you were on Social Security or veterans pension, and it would have affected that? And Kyle didn't. Because you're making it seem as though Kyle withheld money from you.
No, let me make this very clear. I asked, Kyle said he would talk to me how it could be distributed. I asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's talk about how you're going to get it to me. He has never once told me how he's going to get it to me.
Okay. Time to drop the shit. This is too much, dude. You've taken it too far. Okay? All show aside, all YouTube bullshit aside, this is you literally going for your last hurrah, isn't it? Just thinking like, look, I've lied for so long. I've tried to make money from the community and rip people off and slander and put people down and crowd stock and cyber stock for so long that I'm just going to go out there and just stand in the face of all the criticism that people are going to throw at me. And I'm going to ask for $5,000 because I'm literally desperate and broke. Haven't been doing the show. You haven't been doing your show. You've rarely done anything. When you do it, if you're not complaining about Katie, you get 30 to 60 viewers if you're lucky. and you're sitting there getting a couple donations of a couple dollars from one or two people, failed engineering and Quisa, to a point where all of the extra money that comes in is gone, and this is what you're going to do. You're literally going to act like it's owed to you. You don't have to do anything to get it. It's just sickening. It's disgusting. Any YouTuber that supports this, I literally regret ever interacting with them online. And honestly, I don't know how you guys can still sit on your high horse and pretend like you guys have some type of advantage in this now. Literally, in front of your eyes, with his own admission that he's lying in the damn GoFundMe in front of you. How many things you guys say about, how many bad things you guys say about me for criticizing Reds and Steve for doing this constantly? How many? There was a lot, wasn't there? You guys talked all kind of, didn't the YouTuber go live with a bunch of like weird sexual memes about me, complaining and triggered out over the fact that I criticized his buddies? And the sick thing is, you guys should be able to say, look at this dude and tell him, this is wrong, bro. You can't do this. You can't literally lie in this campaign to take $5,000 from our community, from our viewers. Because then other YouTubers have to stand up and say something, dude. You're literally challenging people. And that's what he wants. He wants me to call him out. He wants his, whatever he's got left of a following, to stand up and defend him. And as long as he's got a couple YouTubers that go over to someone's channel and run their interference game, then he's good to go. He's got his whole shtick going, and then we sit here on YouTube and just keep going back and forth, right? Yeah, I guess so. I guess this is what it's destined to be. But you know it's a stale game, right? You know this is a stale, boring game, and the people watching, they're gonna get really bored really fast. You act like you haven't really been on YouTube that long. These types of things that pop off, they never last, dude. And yeah, you've dragged it out for a nice, good, long while, but if you wouldn't have sued him and you wouldn't be up there in court booming out and being such a lolcow, you wouldn't have the amount of people paying attention that you have at this point. It's just pathetic. So anyway, let's move on. I don't even care to keep going. Let's move on. Very quickly, this is, I know that some of those troll accounts are probably already out there trying to find a nice, good narrative to put out so that they can try to convince a few of the brain-dead people that follow them. So to get ahead of that narrative, let's scroll down to submitting a counter notification. To submit a counter copyright notification, sign into YouTube, blah, 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 blah. Once we receive the info, we will process your counter notification and forward it to Kyle Curtis, the claimant. He will have 10 business days to provide evidence that they have initiated a court action to keep the content down. This time period is a requirement of copyright law, so be patient. During that 10-day period, Kyle Curtis must go to a lawyer, pay the lawyer, and the lawyer must file relevant paperwork and submit it to the courts and YouTube. That provably has not happened yet. So that one fact alone is enough to show that he is fraudulently running this GoFundMe. But let's go to point 1A. He has a dude named Ruhif paying his court costs. And we know this because Ruhif admitted it. Steve bragged about it constantly. And he didn't state that Ruhif backed out. He must state that if he wants us to believe that he's stuck with a bill for the lawyer. And there's a part of me that doesn't believe that Ruhif backed out, that Ruhif has already paid the lawyer up. So why would he need to recoup any costs? He literally just made shit up. He sat down in front of this GoFundMe thing and just typed it out and made it up. To go a step further, he brought up Katie Joy Paulson indirectly in this, which is most likely going to screw up the real reason he's running the campaign. Just to sum up anyone that came in at the end of this, there is nothing that's happened with the Kyle Curtis situation other than Kyle filing those 3 not false DMCA strikes. So why would he need to run this GoFundMe using the strikes as an excuse? Because him and his lawyer have scheduled a date for them to try to fight the restraining order. And obviously, Ruhif isn't going to be paying that bill, and most likely that is what this GoFundMe campaign is really going to be used for. He does mention that there are court costs, and he brings up Katie Joy. Let's look at that really quick, because I do think that's going to matter. What in the world is all this? So anyway, here. Hold on, we've got new information rolling in. The Gumby Joy thing. We've got the Gumby Joy thing. Okay. Let's show you the let's get to the Gumby Joy thing before this is over. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Sorry, dealing with the animals. Come on. Come on. All right, fine. Fine, do your own thing. Do your own thing, ding dong. Okay, so for those of you that want at least a preview of the Gumby Joy dealio, just a preview. Oh my God, there's so much of it. So here's what happened. I've got so much in this. I was going into the current live stream room to pull you another thing for the to bring up for the GoFundMe, and I literally have like 50 things that have just been put in here as evidence for the Gumby Joy thing and this other stuff, which I'll show you in the after show. But let me selectively show you some stuff here, because it's just too much, dude. I'm trying to take it all in, and it's just fucking psycho. So, this is the Gumby Joy Instagram account that was ran by someone that does not like Mr. Mcrae. I'm uploading the IG with Amber to my alt channel. If you didn't see it last night, I didn't see it. Uploading will give you link here if you're that bored. Sure, Steve, thanks. You're 90 of your life to waste, lol. Actually, it was pretty good. So this is what Steve is saying, and there are there's video evidence to show who it is, to what account it came from, but mentioned you in passing, but nothing about Gumby, only to relate some of Amber's audience, nothing controversial or about KJP with you. We'll break this down further there. Hold up. Oh, never mind. Okay. I've got stuff mixed in here. Oh, okay. We'll play. Okay, guys. Okay, we'll play it. We'll play it. We've got so many videos that people want me to play over here too. So I'll put it up so I don't forget. You happy now? Okay. Okay. To end out the restraining order / GoFundMe thing, that's the main last point. Though, we'll go on the after show, which is already scheduled. Mods, do me a solid, start dropping it, and I will go to the live chat and transition to the live chat, and I'll do it with this beautiful video.
She sneaks around the world from New York to Carolina. She's a sticky finger culture from Berlin down to Belize. Take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me where in the world is
Creepy Steve McBoomer?
there's so much stuff to reload. Leave me letting go right off from the Red Sea to Freeland. Feel me singing the blues. Well, they never Arkansas.
McBoomer.
Well, she'll ransack Pakistan and run a scan in Scandinavia. Take the stigma up down under and go big pockets for a She was the missing misdemeanor when she stole the beans from Lima. Tell me where in the world is
Steve McBoomer.
Tell me where can she be? That's smart. She flies around the globe, makes her live in every nation. She's a double-dealing diva with a taste for thievery.
Now that's a meme. That's a meme making fun of boomer memes. That's a meme that takes the boomer meme and goes to the next level of shredding it. Okay. it's a little old school, but I wouldn't call it boomery. It's beautiful. Now, okay, so the Gumby Joy account. Here's what happened. Then we're going to go to the live chat. Had somebody ask me a question. Gumby Joy was the Twitter account. You're going to have to go to my channel if you didn't see that backstory. What's up? Yes, that was Tornedge, and Tornedge is in the chat, so you can give props. So if you go back to one of the first things that was mixed in with the Sherelle's World, it was when I was recording. Must have been right after the Tiger King thing, right? I'm not going to play it for you. Oh, hold up. No, we're good. Okay, hold up. We're almost there. Didn't I put Gumby on the front of it? Oh, anyway, who cares? Basically, what happened was Gumby Joy was a Twitter account that made fun of Katie, and I was recording it right after it got busted for doxing Katie's husband's work, and it deleted itself. So somebody went and made one on Instagram to mimic it, and Steve thought he was talking to Matt Bauer, the owner of the Gumby Joy account, but in all reality, he was talking to one of his, who he calls a troll, is what I'll say. If they out themselves, then I will shout them out, but only if they out themselves. Anyway, so things like this were said. Uploading will give you link here if you're that bored. 90 of your life to waste, lol. It was pretty good. I would watch it. But anyway, these are just like, I've got so many of these. I've got so many of these screenshots. Uploading an IG. I think that's the same one as earlier. Fake accounts trying to character assassinate me. YouTube is investigating. YouTube is investigating. Really? This is funny. Exhibit A, Part 2. For those that did not like the 480p resolution, here you go. Oh, no. That was fun. Though, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack with this. Just try to understand. What was I saying to you guys when I started pulling this shit up? I'd already shown this. I've got that. I want to make sure I get it all. Oh, okay. We got our Boomer compilation. I don't need that. Okay. And, hold up. Let's make sure I get it all here on UNIRock 2 before we leave. Before we're done. Oh, the troll group. So, also today, the Instagram account that was owned by him that he used to archive Katie's lies was deleted or privated, one of the two. Most likely privated. I don't think he's the type of person that deletes something if it has more than 2 followers. One that's him and one that's not him, as long as there's one that's not him. And he left the troll group. So yesterday on Rock-A-Lot, I had told you the Great Boomy War was about to begin. And as everybody thought from the troll group, I was bullshitting. Nothing's going to happen this week. Uni's just full of shit. I literally thought it would pop off on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm even a little shocked that it popped off on Monday, more like Monday 10 or 11 a.m. I'm a little shocked myself. Though, to kind of to round out the stream, the troll group has lost its owner and administrator. And some of its members took off yesterday after my stream, which it's weird considering the trolls from the troll group are trying to say that I was wrong. Nothing was going to happen. I was just making stuff up. I'm just bullshitting. But what Katie did, and I played Katie's Instagram stream on the Rock a lot. I'm not going to play it again. I was going to, but we've already been live 2 hours and I'm trying to rush over to the Rock a lot. So anyway, if you want to see any of that, it's last night's thing. Now, I literally predict everything that's about to happen this week last night. So if you want to go hear that, it's on the Rock a Lot channel. The last thing we'll do, though, is hit the live chat. Let's go. If you want me to read your opinion, type it now. I got to put these animals up, dude. They just attacking me like crazy. It's like if you ever have a dog or a cat around you when you stream, they somehow sense you're on camera and just like they just come up and start messing with you. What would a Monday be without drama? It'd be a boring Monday, as Garfield always said, as you know. Oh, yeah, he has come up with the retainer or lawyer won't show up. Thank you, Jimmy. That's the lawyer. That is the word I was looking for. Retainer. Yes. Thank you for playing my video, says Tornedge. Well, thank you for making it. You guys have been making the spiciest memes. I've got more. Hold on. Is that the singing one? Oh, yeah, we're playing this one, too. We're going out. We're going out with this one. We're going out with this one. Okay. They are protecting tweets, too, but they are proud of themselves. And oh, who's protecting tweets? That's actually very interesting. Can you hook me up? Can anybody hook me up? Is there certain accounts that are protecting tweets, or what's up? Little Red, the one that doxed it. I thought, hey, troll group, I thought I didn't know what I was talking about. Oh, you must be a little worried, Little Red, because you know you purposely doxed her address. You know that oops was all BS. That little oopsie floopsie that you threw in there. Oopsie floopsie. Hold on. I'm texting Rachel. I need a Mountain Dew. She'll slap me. Dogs and cats are students of human behavior. Oh, they know when I'm streaming. They haven't even been around me that much, and they know when I'm streaming. Did you get a new cat? No, we're babysitting. We're cat sitting. I'm not playing either. I know it's crazy. I kind of, yeah. I'll go ahead and say yes. It's already grown on me. I can't let it go. So I'm a sucker for animals. That's what this toad is. That's what the Unitoad. This is this little toad that comes and chills on my porch every night and day. It stays there during the day too. And when I'm out there, it'll just hop out and start looking at me. So eventually I was like, all right, screw it. I'm going to try to pet the thing. And yes, I washed my hands when I was done. It's all a big lie that toads give you warts, or, you know, if you kiss them, they turn into a princess. That's not true. I don't know from experience, but I'm just kidding. Though I was like, the closer I got to the toad, the closer it tried to come up to me. So I started touching it, and next thing I know, it follows me around everywhere I go outside now. So I got a pet now. But I'm kind of giving you a little sneak peek, because I'm going to be uploading an actual video about the entire my response to the GoFundMe campaign, my response to what Steve is doing here, lying about all this stuff and all that. Isn't that awesome? It just perfectly, that UNIRock sign perfectly blends into his eyeball. But the uploaded video, this is the back. I've got like 10 minutes of footage of me petting this toad. And I do need it to be put on my channel. So I'm not going to let this just go away. But I was a little surprised. Most toads are very skittish creatures. They typically don't like humans. This little dude, he just wants to hang out with you all day. Haven't you seen your new vorts? My new vorts? I don't see my new vorts. Maybe I just maybe I just like them so much. I don't call him squishy. I know. because I don't want to. It'll be like predicting his inevitable demise. I don't want to squish you, Squishy. No, honestly, I just call him Toady Rock. Busy is very jealous. He's like, shut up. He's like, Busy's like this big, the Toad's like that big. So really, the Toad just seems like a cat to Busy. The Toad is like Busy's cat. Honestly. All right. I'm not supposed to be doing this here. I'm not supposed to be randomly talking to you on UNIRock 2. This channel's for content. This is a content channel here. So if you want to sit around and talk to me, mods, do me a solid. Drop the link to the Rock-A-Lot live stream for the after show while I take us out. What now? Chesh called you an RA? Told me to cry to the FBI and kicked me out? This is insane. She said that to you, Gabriel. Gabriel, you're one of the coolest people around here, damn it. That's not fair. That is not nice, Cheshire. Surprisingly, MD, I thought the same thing, but very surprisingly, the cat and the toad get along. It's just weird. It's just a weird family. We just have a weird family. All right, guys. I'm heading to the Rock-A-Lot. Link down in the chat. Thank you, Nuke. Thank you, Stuart. Keep spamming that link for me. Let's go ahead and end this stream out. Let me get some different background. I have a habit of playing the same background music every 5 minutes. It's just good music. No, he's just a normal, like, New York toad. I don't know what to call him. Okay. So, stream review, as Pewds would say. I know Pew. Me and Pewds are friends. I've been on stream with PewDiePie before. I'm not even playing. Okay. So, honestly, at this point, anyone who's defending this shit knows they're wrong. They know they've lost. And there's just a lot of weird rumors and things going on. And there's a lot I want to tell you, but I just can't. I know too much. I keep telling people to stop telling me things. But for some reason, everybody feels like calling me. I don't mind. I love talking to people, but I'm not good at withholding information. So you should follow me on Periscope, UNIRocktv on Periscope. You can follow my Twitter account and turn on video notifications. It'll also notify you when I'm live over here at the UNIRock 2 and the Rock-A-Lot, because I tell you things on Periscope before it happens in the community. Now, yesterday when I announced the great ouch, ow, ow. Yesterday when I announced, if I just ever scream out in pain during my stream, you know what happened. It's the cat or dog. The Great Boomy War of 2020, I announced it yesterday. It will last. Okay, let me go ahead and make some predictions. If you're ever hurting for content, we'll take a cat and toad upload. Hey, I've got a cat and toad upload for you. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna be using it. I've been filming like crazy. I've got all kinds of beautiful video to show you. But it's going to be, my commentary is going to be in the background of the beautiful video I show you. And I don't know where it all is. I don't know where all of it's at, to be honest, so. Anyway, what's this? Okay, that's the Toady Rock video. Oh, we're all set up for the outro? Okay. So anyway, the Great Boomy War will probably be over the next, let's say, 5 days. I believe the Great Boomy War will end this weekend. It's when all the battles will die down. What do I mean by Boomy War? What do I mean by battles? Why, let me explain, drama student. Let me spill the tea for you. So, basically, Kyle and Katie in taking the offensive in court, taking the offensive legally against the people who have been harassing them and helping others harass them, to taking the offensive in court against this is going to cause them to fight for their digital lives. So what I'm saying is, if you think all of the dirty tactics that we see certain YouTubers who help these guys use, all of the dirty tactics that their friends and the people who make money off of these guys, in my opinion, over the next week, they're going to pull out every dirty trick that they have to kick and take more digital breaths as their internet presence continues to enter into lolcow legend. Now, we all know what happens when your YouTube presence enters into lolcow presence. You fight it kicking and screaming every second of the way. And yes, this GoFundMe and the other types of things that are happening around this stuff is when he does have her nudes, yes. All of this, it'll probably be over after this week, and you're probably just going to see some really, really weird streams full of sexual memes and stuff like that, like we've been seeing in the past, and just a bunch of garbage. Because, like, one thing I've noticed is that the people around this story are incapable of admitting if they get things wrong. They're incapable of changing their opinion, because I guess it's because they feel like it shows them to be wrong, or it like makes them look like bad YouTubers or some shit. I mean, honestly, you'd have to figure that out for yourself, but there is a reason why. So for the rest of the week, I feel like you're going to just see a lot of garbage spewed out all over the place while the RO gets defended in court and continues and stays in place for the next couple of years. After the RO meeting, after the RO thingy, the RO will be in place officially for the next 2 years. It's not like the only thing that can happen. It's in place now, but it'll be confirmed in for 2 years. And because of that, I think a lot of the trolling and a lot of the bullshit will just stop. People are protecting their tweets. The group is cleaning itself out. People are deleting content in the hope that they may not get subpoenaed or something like that. But I'm actually shocked at the amount of... See, there was a point where Katie and Kyle said to themselves that they were just going to fight this. They were just literally going to fight it. They are not going to just lay back. And I have confirmed that Kyle is doing a GoFundMe or a fundraiser. I don't know where he's doing it or how. But Kyle is going to be allowing donations soon. And he's suing Steve. And so this is going in my... Like, with that happening... I, myself, am going to be putting out my final thing. I'm not going to... There will be... Look, as it goes on, it's just going to get more and more boring, guys. It's already pretty boring. We're like down to updating it over here on UNIRock too, like once a month at this point. But I just want to make sure everybody gets it. Now that the troll groups are leaving them and all that's left are the couple YouTubers okay, so it's like this. Let me do a breakdown. They've got generals and they've got lieutenant. So they got the king up here at the top. That's the king's crown. King of the castle. Sit in a chair. They got the king up at the top. Underneath the king are the YouTubers. You got Team, you got Chess, you got Fight. Then under them, you've got the troll group members and the Twitter accounts and the Facebook groups. Well, they're starting to private themselves. They're starting to leave the troll group. They're starting to close down. They're starting to try to save their skin. So now all they've got left is like Chesh and Reds and Team and Steve. So I think you're just going to see those guys act pretty crazy for a week, and then they'll all start doing their normal content and try to pretend that nothing happened. But the internet knows what happened. They know who's willing to lie to the community to try to save their skin or their friend's skin. So from now on, the only thing we will have left to remember are the memes. Play it again, Busy. Play it 3 times.